Focus on yourself. Stay silent. That alone can change your life. Most people are distracted. Distracted by opinions. Distracted by gossip. Distracted by what everyone else is doing. They watch. They compare. They complain. And they wonder why nothing changes. The answer is simple. Their focus is in the wrong place. You cannot build your future while watching someone else's life. You cannot reach your potential while comparing yourself to others. You cannot move forward while constantly looking sideways. As I often say, your greatest competition is who you were yesterday. Not your neighbor, not your coworker, not the person on social media. Just you, the person in the mirror. That's where the battle is won or lost. Most people talk too much. They talk about their plans. They talk about their dreams. They talk about what they are going to do. But successful people are different. They work quietly, consistently, relentlessly. They understand a powerful truth. Results speak louder than words. Anybody can talk. Few people execute. Anybody can make promises. Few people keep them. Anybody can announce a goal. Few people stay committed long enough to achieve it. That is why silence is powerful. Silence protects your focus. Silence protects your energy. Silence protects your vision. When you stop seeking approval, you gain freedom. When you stop explaining yourself, you gain time. When you stop comparing yourself, you gain confidence. And confidence comes from progress. Not praise, not attention, progress. As I often teach, successful people are intensely goal-oriented. Their eyes stay on the target. They do not get distracted by the crowd. They do not waste energy trying to impress people. They invest that energy in becoming better. A little better every day? That is how success is built. One focused day, then another, then another. Most people want recognition. Successful people want results. Most people want attention. Successful people want growth. Most people talk about success. Successful people work for it, quietly, patiently, daily. So here's my challenge to you. Stop looking around. Stop comparing. Stop explaining. Stop seeking validation. Focus on yourself. Focus on your goals. Focus on your growth. And stay silent. Because while others are talking, you should be building. While others are complaining, you should be improving. While others are watching, you should be working. One day, people will notice your success. But by then, you won't need their approval. Because you'll know exactly who created it. You did. Now let's begin. Focus on yourself. Nothing else. That is where power begins. Most people live distracted. They watch others. They judge others. They compare themselves to others. And slowly they lose themselves. Because whatever you focus on grows. If you focus on others, you lose focus on your own life. If you focus on noise, you lose clarity. If you focus on comparison, you lose confidence. As I often say, your future is created by what you focus on daily. Not occasionally, not sometimes, daily. The problem is simple. Most people are watching the wrong life. They are studying others. They are measuring others. They are copying others. And in that process, they forget one thing. Their only real competition is themselves, not the world, not social media, not the people around them, just the person they were yesterday. That is the standard. That is the only comparison that matters. Focus creates direction, and direction creates success. But distraction destroys both. Every time you compare yourself, you lose energy. Every time you judge someone else's progress, you delay your own. Every time you look outside, you miss what needs to be built inside. That is why focus is powerful. Because focus is control. Control over your thoughts. Control over your attention. Control over your future. And when you take control of yourself, everything changes. You stop reacting. You start building. You stop watching. You start working. You stop talking. You start improving. As I often teach, successful people are intensely goal-oriented. They are not people-oriented. They are not opinion-oriented. They are goal-oriented. Their attention stays in one place, forward, on their path, on their progress, on their growth. And that is what I want for you, to bring your attention back to yourself, to your habits, to your discipline, to your actions, because your life will always move in the direction of your focus. Focus on distractions, and you get distraction. Focus on improvement, and you get improvement. Focus on discipline, and you get results. So make the decision today. Stop looking around. Stop comparing. Stop measuring. And start focusing only on yourself. Because the moment you do that, you take back your power. Stay silent. It is powerful. More powerful than most people understand. Because silence is not weakness. Silence is control. Most people speak too much. They explain too much. They reveal too much. And in doing so, they lose power. Not because speaking is wrong, but because unnecessary speaking weakens focus. Every time you talk about your plans too early, you reduce your urgency. Every time you announce your goals too loudly, you lose discipline. Every time you seek approval, you give away control. As I often say, successful people are action-oriented, not approval-oriented. They do not need validation. They need results. That is why they stay quiet. They move differently. They work privately. They build silently. And they let results speak later. Because results always speak louder than words. Always. Think about it. Anyone can talk about success. Very few can produce it. Anyone can say they will change. Very few actually change. Anyone can announce a plan. Very few follow through long enough to succeed. That is why silence is an advantage. It protects your energy. It protects your focus. It protects your mindset. When you stop explaining everything, you start building more. When you stop seeking opinions, you start trusting your work. When you stop talking, you start producing. And production is what creates success. Not promises, not words, not attention. As I often teach, discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. And silence supports discipline, because silence removes distraction. Silence removes pressure. Silence removes unnecessary opinions. And when your mind is clear, your actions become stronger. Your decisions become sharper. Your progress becomes faster. Most people fail because they talk more than they work. They spend energy explaining instead of executing. They spend time discussing instead of doing. But successful people understand something simple. The less you talk, the more you focus, and the more you focus, the more you achieve. So choose silence, not to hide, but to build, not to avoid people, but to avoid distraction, because while others are talking, you should be working. And while others are announcing, you should be improving. One day, your results will speak for you. And when they do, you will not need to say a word. Focus on your own growth, not on others, not on their life, not on their progress. Only yours. Because growth is personal. It is not a competition. It is a direction. Most people stay stuck because they are watching too many lives. They watch what others achieve. They watch what others earn. They watch what others post. And slowly, they forget their own path. They lose their own rhythm. They lose their own focus. As I often say, you cannot improve your life by focusing on other people's lives. You improve your life by improving yourself. That is the only way. Look at nature. Everything grows at its own pace. A tree does not rush. A river does not compare. They simply grow, step by step, day by day. And so must you. Your only responsibility is progress. Not perfection, not comparison. Progress. A little better than yesterday. A little stronger than yesterday. A little more disciplined than yesterday. That is growth. And growth compounds. Small improvements may not look powerful in a single day, but over time, they become unstoppable. Most people underestimate this. They think success comes from big moments, big decisions, big breakthroughs. But success is built in small moments, quiet moments, daily moments. 1 hour of learning, 1 hour of practice, 1 hour of focus, repeated consistently. That is how transformation happens. As I often teach, success is the result of small disciplines repeated daily, not occasional effort, daily effort. So focus on yourself, your habits, your mindset, your discipline, because your life will always reflect what you consistently do, not what you wish, not what you hope, but what you practice every day. And when you focus on your own growth, something powerful happens. You stop feeling distracted. You stop feeling behind. You stop feeling pressure from others because your attention is now where it belongs, on your own progress. And that brings peace and clarity and strength. So ask yourself, am I improving today? Am I better than I was yesterday? Am I moving forward? If the answer is yes, then you are on the right path. Keep going. Stay consistent. Stay focused. Because your only real job in life is simple. Become better than you were yesterday. That is enough. And that is everything. Ignore opinions. Stay on your path. Because opinions are everywhere. But truth is rare. Most people will have something to say about your life. What you should do. What you should not do. What will work. What will fail. But remember this. They are not living your life. You are. So their opinions cannot guide your destiny. Only your decisions can. As I often say, you must be willing to go against the crowd if you want to achieve success. Because the crowd is not always right. The crowd follows comfort. The crowd avoids risk. The crowd seeks approval. And if you follow the crowd, you get average results. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they listen too much. Too many voices, too many suggestions, too many doubts. And slowly, they lose clarity. You must protect your mind. You must filter what you hear. You must decide what matters. Because every opinion is not your responsibility. But your focus is your life. And your life is built by what you consistently do. Not what others think, not what others say, not what others expect. As I often teach, successful people do not seek approval, they seek results. That is the difference. Approval is temporary. Results are permanent. Opinions change. Truth does not. So stay on your path, even when people don't understand it, even when people doubt it, even when people question it, because every successful person was once misunderstood. Every winner was once doubted. Every achiever was once criticized. But they stayed consistent. They stayed focused. They stayed committed, and that made the difference. You do not need everyone to agree with your vision. You only need discipline to pursue it, step by step, day by day, without distraction, without hesitation, without apology, because your life is not a group project. It is your responsibility. So stop adjusting your direction to fit other people's opinions and start adjusting your actions to fit your goals. As I often say, clarity comes from action, not from approval. The more you act on your own path, the clearer your path becomes. So ignore the noise, ignore the comments, ignore the judgment, and stay focused on what truly matters. Your growth, your discipline, your future. Because in the end, opinions will fade, but results will remain. Let your results speak for you. Not your words, not your promises, not your plans, your results. Because in the end, life does not judge intentions. It judges outcomes. Most people talk too much. They explain what they will do. They describe what they want. They promise what is coming, but nothing changes. Because talk is easy, results are not. As I often say, what gets measured gets improved. And what gets done gets results. That is the difference. Successful people do not waste time trying to convince others. They focus on execution. They focus on discipline. They focus on performance. They understand a simple truth. If you do the work, You do not need to defend yourself. If you produce results, you do not need to explain yourself. Your life becomes the evidence. Your progress becomes the message. Your success becomes the answer. Most people want recognition first, but recognition comes last. After consistency, after effort, after discipline, not before. So stop talking about what you will do someday and start doing it today. Quietly, consistently, relentlessly. As I often teach, success is not something you pursue. It is something you attract by becoming valuable. And value is created through results. Not intentions, not excuses, not explanations. Results. Every day you work in silence. You are building something powerful. Every day you improve without attention. You are creating strength. Every day you stay disciplined without applause. You are building character. And one day, that character becomes visible through your achievements, through your growth, through your success. And at that point, you do not need to say anything. People will see it. They will notice it. They will respect it because results are undeniable. So stop trying to convince the world and start building something the world cannot ignore. Work quietly, stay focused, stay consistent, and let your results speak for you. Because when your results are strong enough, your silence becomes powerful. And so we come to the end, but this is where real work begins. Not in words, in action. Everything you heard today is simple, but not easy. Focus on yourself. Stay silent. Ignore opinions. Build your growth. Let your results speak. Simple ideas, powerful outcomes, but only if you apply them. As I often say, knowledge without action is useless. You can understand everything. You can agree with everything. But if you do nothing, nothing changes. So I want you to pause and reflect. Are you focused on your own life or distracted by others? Are you building in silence or seeking attention? Are you growing daily or just consuming information? Because your answers to these questions will determine your future, not your intentions, your actions. The truth is simple. Your life will not change all at once. It will change through small decisions, daily decisions, quiet decisions, disciplined decisions. The decision to focus, the decision to stay silent, the decision to improve, the decision to keep going. And if you make those decisions consistently, your life will transform. Slowly, but permanently. So take this message seriously, not as inspiration, but as instruction. Go back to your life and apply it, because the world does not reward talk. It rewards results. And results come from focus, discipline, and silence. So stay on your path. Trust your process and let your results speak for you, because one day they will.